Hi guys, good evening again, and welcome to or welcome back to Cooking with Pouncy. If you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button and tell us what you think, and please share this video with others if you like what you see. This evening I'm going to be doing some baked chicken with green peppers and onions. It's a dish I have made a lot, and I still make a lot of. And I'm going to share that with you this evening. And of course, this is just the baked chicken, as I said, with green peppers and onions. I'm not going the rosemary and thyme route. This is the Cooking with Pouncy, green peppers, onions, and chicken. It's a wonderful flavor, and bear with me, and we're going to cook this chicken. I've got a little fryer here. They're typically larger than this when I buy them at the store, but as you guys know, it's kind of slim pickings at the supermarket these days. But anyway, this is a 2-pound fryer. And it's already cut up, already cleaned it up, cut it up, trimmed it up, and all that stuff. Because I cut the breast in half and to make them smaller. So anyway, got this little 2-pound fryer. Here's my green peppers and onions that I talked about. They've already been washed and diced as well. I'm going to be putting these in here after about, I'm going to say about 45 minutes of cooking time on the chicken, so that these won't grossly overcook. There'll be a nice texture to them, and they won't be all mush and stuff. I'm going to use the only items I'm going to use on it is some coarse ground black pepper, and I'm going to use some salt, okay? And that's about the only seasonings I'm going to put on this chicken. Again, this is Cooking with Pouncy chicken, and I've done it many, many ways. This is another way that I've done. I've even there's a recipe book or something floating around the world with my recipe in it for this chicken. I might put a little bit, and I will put a little bit of olive oil on it. And I hold this one up because I've got a little spray can of olive oil. And all I want to do is just coat this chicken just a little bit to get a little oil on it so that my seasoning will stick on it, okay? Let's see now, having said that, I've got some rice here. Just regular Uncle Ben's rice that I've already prepared. I made 1 cup of rice, and it's already done. Now I'm just going to show you the pot, if you will. I've already got my pot of rice done. I followed the directions on the box here in order to prepare that rice. That's all ready to go. The other item I've got on my little stove behind me here, there's some green peppers, not green peppers, excuse me guys, onions and bacon I've got in here. I've sauteed some onions and bacon, and the bacon's pretty crisp, and then I just let the onions sweat so that it would get a little translucent, and then the bacon fat is still in there as well, not all of it. I drained some of that fat out of there, okay? And to this mixture here, guys, I'm going to add, don't throw cans at me now, some canned black-eyed peas. The key to this, though, is do not bring these things to a boil. You don't want to cook these canned peas because obviously they're already cooked, and if you bring them to a boil, you're going to puree them, and you don't want to do that because they're going to lose their shape. All you want to do is keep them hot, or when I introduce them back to the onions and bacon, guys, all I'm going to do is get those things hot, piping hot, and I'll stop it right there, and they're going to be served, okay? So then I'm going to use a little cornstarch. I'll be making a slurry, and I'll be using about 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch in the slurry. The slurry is going to be the gravy, if you will, or the sauce that this is going to generate. Once I put my green peppers and onions on there, and I'll be adding a little bit of chicken stock for liquid in here. Okay, so as not to make it any more complicated than it is here, guys, it's a quick, simple meal. I'm going to spray a little oil on it. I'll let you see that, okay? This is just, I'm holding up olive oil, yes. A little olive oil. And all I want to do is just get a little bit on here, just so that my salt and pepper will stick on it. And I'll turn it over. Okay. Let me put this over here so you can maybe see it better. All right, I sprayed the other side already. I'm going to put a little bit of this on here as well. Just a little bit. I just want my salt and pepper to stick on there. And then while it's turned over, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Again, this is all just to taste. I'll coat it with a little black pepper. And we'll take our salt here, do the same thing. Guys, if you've not tried this combination, the combination as in the green peppers and the onion on this chicken is phenomenal. Really, really is. All right, I'm going to turn it over, of course. Turn those over. This is going to cook pretty quick. I said 45 minutes before I put my onions and green pepper on it. This chicken is so small, I'm going to look at it in 45 minutes, but I might even look at it in a half hour just to make sure I don't overcook the chicken, all right? Because the fryer is so small, it's only 2 pounds. That's all coated. And again, all I've got on here is salt and pepper, and I think I missed this guy right here, the salt. And I can always add more salt, and I probably will once I put that chicken stock on here for some sauce in the pan before I put my slurry on it and thicken it up a little bit, because the green peppers and onions is going to be served over the rice, okay? I'm going to stop rambling, guys, right now, and I'm going to put this in the oven. The oven's already on, it's preheated, 350. I'm looking around to make sure I haven't forgotten anything, and I haven't. I might add, and I can't cheat on you guys, I got a little blob of stuff in my hand here. I know it might be yucky looking, guys, but that's chicken fat that I trimmed from this chicken that's underside of some of the portions. I'm going to leave that right in that corner for some of the fat to go in there. Believe it or not, that's going to create some flavor as well, all right? So now we're going to put it in the oven, as I said, at 350 degrees. And I'm going to look at it in about 45 minutes. It's in the middle rack. And again, I'm going to set my timer for 45 minutes, and we'll be taking a look at it at that time. And I'll see you again in 45 minutes, guys. Okay, guys. It's been 35 minutes. I said I'd look at it in 45. This fryer is pretty small. As I showed you earlier, it only weighs 2 pounds. I'm going to introduce my green peppers and onions now. I think you can see this. We talked about the fact that they're already diced, and this is looking really good. The chicken is almost done, but I'm going to give her another 15 minutes cook time. There's some liquid in there as well from what has occurred with the cooking process. And I'm going to be adding some more with that chicken stock that we talked about earlier as well. Kind of shaking it so it'll go down between the chicken, and it smells really, really good as well already. So anyway, there's that 3/4 of a green pepper and that half of onion that I talked about. And again, I'm moving it around so that it doesn't sit on top of the chicken, all right, guys? Okay, in my little cup here, I have that chicken stock, and I've got a cup of chicken stock. So far, I've got a cup of chicken stock, and what I'm going to do here, prior to pouring that in there, now watch this, guys. I'm going to take my salt, put a little bit of salt right in between the chicken. I'm not putting it on the chicken. Just trying to flavor my green peppers and onions. Just a little bit. You don't really have to do this, but the chicken stock also has salt in it as well. So just a little bit I put in there, right? So far I've got a cup, and I'm not going to pour it over the chicken either. I'm going to pour it in between, like you see me doing here. I'm not trying to bathe the chicken. I'm just trying to get that stock in there so it'll cook those green peppers and onions. Get off of there. There you have it. Anyway, and that's going to be just plenty of liquid there. And I'm going to say that's about enough stock. I don't think I need any more than that, actually. So I got about 1/4 of a cup left. So we're talking 3/4 of a cup of chicken stock, and I don't think I'll be putting any more than that in there as well. This is going to go back in the oven now. And again, I'm going to let it go for about another 15 minutes. It'll be getting a little browner as well. This isn't going to brown like obviously like fried chicken. It'll have a little brownness on the top of the skin. If you want to make it browner, you can certainly put it underneath the broiler just before it comes out. I've done that before too, okay? So I'm going to be careful here and grab this and put it back in the oven. And again, like I said, it's going to be in there for another 15 minutes just to get those green peppers and onions tender. Still at 350. All right? Still at 350. Let's see, I think that's about all I have to tell you. I think maybe I told you about the bacon. Maybe I didn't. Slice and a half. I did say that. I said a slice and a half of thick sliced bacon is what I used. And I used about 1/4 of a cup of onion in this little saucepan that I'm going to put those black eyed peas in. In fact, I opened my can of peas already. And I'm going to just dump those in here. And again, these are already cooked, sauteed. I'm just going to dump the peas, stock and all, the juice and all, if you will. The only thing I'm going to add to this mix here now is a little coarse ground pepper, and I usually say to taste. I just put a little pepper in there. You don't need any salt. It's already got seasoning in it. And again, the worst thing you can do for this is bring them to a boil. We're not going to do that. We're just going to get them piping hot. and that's going to be served, because if you make them any more than that, they're going to puree on you, and you don't want that, okay? I'll be back in about 15 minutes, guys. Hang tight. All right, guys, it's been another 15 minutes, and I think these are ready. We're going to take this out right now. We're going to set it right there. That smells so good. I'm serious, guys. Now what I'm going to do now that I've taken that out, I'm going to shut my oven off, guys. I always do, of course. But in the interim, I'm going to take my plates and put them in this oven that's no longer at 350 degrees, because I always try to heat my plates. And that's what we're going to do with those. And just that residual heat that's in there is going to heat my plates. And they'll be nice and hot when I get ready to put my chicken on. So here's the finished product. As you can see here, I'm going to take the chicken out of here. There you go, a little brown coating on it there as well. And again, if you want it darker than that, you can put it underneath the broiler. Here's a thigh. This looks good and it smells even better, guys. And you can start adding whatever you want to add to your chicken once you cook this chicken for yourself and your family, as in Cooking with Pouncy's Chicken. And I think you should try it this way first and then start doing your own thing with it like I did many years ago. So what I've done here, as you see here, I've taken it all out of here. This is just perfect. These are not overcooked. They've still got a little bit of a crunch to it. I didn't have a pot that I wanted to use, so I'm going to use this little guy here. I'm going to take all of this and put it in here. That's what I'm going to do here. And this is what I'm going to do with my slurry, is I take it and thicken it. And that's what's going to happen with this guy, okay? All I've got here now are the drippings and the stock that I put in, and that was about 3/4 of a cup, if you remember that. So I'm going to take now I got to add to you too. When you do this cornstarch, I want to put two heaping tablespoons in there, okay? But when you do the water in here for your slurry, make sure you use cold water, very cold water, all right? Which is what I'm going to do right now, all right? All right, guys. All right, you saw the mixture. I'm going to put it on the range here. And I'm going to turn it back on. And I'm going to turn that on, because all I want to do now is thicken that. I'll be tasting it too to see if I need any more, or I won't need any more salt, I'm sure. But I'll take this and I'm going to set that in the oven as well, and you guys know why. I'm going to keep that nice and hot while I'm waiting to get my vegetables thickened here. And that's going to be served, like I said, over that rice. This was mixed again with 2 heaping tablespoons full, and I made what's called a slurry. It's not real thick, and I'm just going to use that to thicken that portion that I just took out of the chicken, okay? All right, and I'll show you what. All right, guys, we're back. This is just now starting to come to a rolling boil, and that's what you want, because I'm going to now add my cornstarch and water, called a slurry, and I'm going to turn that down a little bit because I don't need it boiling like crazy throughout this whole process, all right? So, just going to slowly introduce this to this as I take my glasses off so I can see. Those of you who wear glasses understand what that means, okay? So I'm just going to slowly stir that in here just to get it to a thickness that I want it. And it's almost there. I didn't put that much in there yet. I'll do that again. And I almost got too much in there, but guess what I'm going to do when I do that? I'm going to add a little bit of my chicken stock because I accidentally put too much in there, but that's okay. I can still use that, all right? All right. Chicken stock here. I just want to thin it out a little bit because I actually put a little bit too much of that slurry in. I didn't want it that thick. But again, all I got to do is add a little more chicken stock, and that's that other 1/4 of a cup. So now it's a cup, all right? Okay, let me taste that. You know, guys, believe it or not, at least it needs a little more salt, but we're going to season it as we eat it, all right? We'll season it as we eat it. It could use a little more salt. But again, that's all to taste, all right? So then I'll give you a gander at what this looks like. think you might be able to see that. I'll give you a gander of what it looks like as I take it on my ladle here. You can see how good it is without spilling it. That's what it looks like, okay? You can have it as thick as you want. I'm going to leave it about like that. It'll just cling to those grains of rice as I put it on the plate. And once it gets plated up, guys, I'll show you a presentation of it as well. The peas are piping hot. I just took them off of this side to put them over here so you could see this operation right here. And I'm ready to plate it, guys, so I'll see you in a bit. I gotta plate this up. And I'm gonna call that enough right there. Take my chicken pieces. I like dark meat, and that's piping hot. So a little wing. My wife likes white meat. You're gonna get that, and you're gonna get a drumstick maybe. And a thigh. It's gotta look like a game hen. It's so small here. I'm gonna give myself another one of these guys here. On there. So I'm going to serve those black-eyed peas that I had. I don't have any vegetable dishes because we just ordered these dishes because we just moved and all that, and that's a story for another day. So I'm going to put the black-eyed peas in these dishes for now. This is what I'll do. And again, guys, the key to doing these peas from that can is to not boil them, because if you do, you're going to puree them, and you don't want to do that, all right? So let's put a few of those in here, and a few of those in here, and those onions and those. That bacon looks really good in there. So now I'm going to take this last item that we just dished up, just made up rather, and we're going to put some of that. This is very hot. We're going to put some of that, and I usually serve it like this. Each ladle will have some green peppers and onions, and you can spoon it on top of your chicken as well. And let me call that enough for that one. And we're going to call that enough for that one as well. This is a great dish, guys. Now again, you can put this sauce on top of your chicken as well. We typically serve it like this, and just put it on the rice itself. But that's the finished product of this dish. The whole thing took about an hour maybe. It's quick. It's very, very tasty. And if you've not tried this, guys, I really, really recommend that you do that. Again, guys, thank you so much for subscribing, and I certainly hope you do, to my channel. And please hit the share button as well. Let me know what you think as well, guys. And again, if you make this for yourself and your family, we truly hope that you enjoy it as much as we're going to enjoy this for our supper tonight as well. So thanks again for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next time. Good night.